So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the children. We are studying
Walaikum Assalam.
Oxford English and we are doing the tree at Mozambique. See, we have Aisha is here, Hajra is here, Aliza, Kinza, Kissa. See, what happens is, these were all Mozambique people. They had diamonds and golds. So they had diamond and they had gold. So these people who the French people, sometimes the Britishers, they went over there, they stole all their gold and the diamonds and gave them guns to fight it all out. They gave them guns to fight it all out. Divide and rule. It has always been the principle of the Britishers. Divide and rule. And this is what they do at all times. Divide and rule. First, we need to know what is a sculpture. Because what they did was that they made a sculpture. So we do need to know what is a sculpture. Here, Hajra is going to read.
Sculpture. A sculpture can be very small or gigantic and can be made from almost any materials. It could be clay, bronze, marble, recycled tin cans, even ice, or as in this case, broken up weapons. On some of England's beaches each summer, there are competitions to build the best sculptures out of sand. Sculpture, and the verb to sculpt are quite difficult words to say. The P is not silent but is pronounced. Sculpture, sculptor, sculpt. In all three words, the stress is on the first syllable.
Read it again from the top this time, spell the words correctly,
Yes,
pronounce
sculpture.
them correctly.
Sculpture. A sculpture can be very small or gigantic and can be made from
Gigantic. Gigantic, yeah.
gigantic and can be made from almost any materials. It could be clay, bronze, marble, recycled drink cans, or even ice, or as in this case, broken up weapons. On some of England's beaches each summer, there are competitions to build the best sculpture out of sand. Sculptor, and the verb to sculpt are quite difficult words to say. The P is not silent but is pronounced. Sculptor, sculpt. In all three words, the stress is on the first syllable.
So they are making a statue out of it. This is the whole point. Now they have just given it a fancy name. Now there are sculptures at the sea view also. If you go over there, they have made them out of tires and iron and so forth. So those are also sculptures. Those are live examples for you to see. Decommissioned weapons dismantled. Here, Aisha.
Decommissioned weapons, dismantled weapons. Decommissioning weapons means making them
Unusable.
unusable. Dismantling them is the process of taking them apart and breaking them up to render them useless. It is these pieces of dismantled weapons which the artists have used to make their sculptures.
So what they are doing is that they are using these broken up pieces of guns and ammunition and then making it into a design which should be looking very pleasing, or at least something to do instead of just sitting and doing nothing. Now when we have people, countries fighting each other, then it is called a war, like World War I and World War II. Now we have a situation here where within a country there is a war going on, so that is called a civil war. So Hajra will read what is a civil war.
Civil war. A civil war is a war fought not between different countries, but between different groups or factions within a country. Civil comes from the Latin word civus, which means citizens. Think of other civil words: civility, decency, politeness, civilization, civilian, citizens to civilize. Civil can mean to do with citizens or civilians, as in civil war, or as an extension of its first meaning, civil can mean polite or decent. This is rather an old-fashioned or formal use. Example: that was very civil of you to do my shopping for me.
So this is your definition for civil war. If people are fighting within a country, like before you were born in 1987, 88, 89, 90, MQM had become a war, gangster war was going on in our country, in our city, Karachi. Then it was like a civil war kind of a situation, but it was not a real civil war. Real civil war was in India Pakistan separation. India Pakistan separation, that was a civil war. Then Pakistan and Bangladesh separation, it was a civil war. So this is what they always do. They give the money, and then how the Bangladesh got separated from Pakistan. All the Hindus from all around them, they helped fight Pakistani armed forces. And Pakistan, Pakistan was very far away from Bangladesh. So Pakistan army could not reach there. And then all the Hindus, the Sikh, they killed the Muslims and the Bengalis in the Pakistani army. And then the Biharis, the people of the Bihar, and then they killed them all. And then thousands and millions of them came running to Pakistan as refugees. That is called a civil war. Why civil war starts? Because somebody creates an imbalance. Someone creates an imbalance. And when they do an imbalance, then they end up doing these things. If they create a civil war. They went there for their gold, these French and the British people, they went there for the gold. Once they took all the gold out and the diamond out, why they gave them the guns? These are people These are people who are poor, very poor people fighting with bows and arrows. They did not have guns. Who gave them guns? The same people who went there. Just like the East India British Tea Company, which came to Mughal empires, then they wanted to sell tea. And instead of tea, then they brought arms and ammunition, and they fought, and then they defeated the Muslim Mughal Empire. Then they took over the whole of Indo-Pak subcontinent. So this is what they do. Now, so now they have done something and they're looking at it that if war is something very bad to do. So all right, let's any questions so far? So forth, any question? No questions. Well, they are talking about a discussion on page 274. If everybody turned to page 274, they are talking about discussion. Up now on the PC, very difficult to do any discussion. Number one is the value of the transforming arms into tools project to the people of Mozambique. Number two, what do you think of the opinion expressed by the five people who are quoted? Number three, what do you think the tree of life symbolizes and why you think a tree is a suitable subject for a symbolic sculpture? Number four, which other subject do you think would make effective sculpture made from dismantled weapons? Then the fifth one is whether you think the tree of life will change the way people think. See, we will open the class and we'll have the class, we will do a discussion, okay? Right now, what you are doing is that writing task scenario. Your uncle who lives in another part of Pakistan has heard about the tree of life from a brief news item. He wants to know more about it. Write a letter to your uncle in which you tell him all you know about the tree of life. So basically what you are doing, you are going to read the chapter and you're going to summarize it in the form of an essay. Okay, so you are writing a short essay, one page essay in which you are going to write a short one page essay and then you're going to put it in the letter form. So first write an essay and the points to consider here are written here, why and how it was built, what do you and other people think about it. And the third one is going to be your conclusion. What do you think of this? Third will be your conclusion of what do you think.
Sir, can I ask something?
Yes,
Sir, in this essay, we have to include these three things.
yes. You have to write the complete summary of the paper of the chapter.
Okay, sir.
You're going to read the complete chapter and then you're going to write a complete summary. Just make sure when you're going to write a complete summary, then it will cover these points. And then you have to write your conclusion also. And it will be in the form of an essay, meaning paragraphs, paragraph, paragraph. So there should be, whatever, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs in it. Anyone else? Any other question? We will discuss it again on Monday when you will have your regular class. Inshallah, you will come. So what we will do now, we will start some simple chapter. Okay, let's start a simple chapter. Which chapter would you like to read? And going on. Have you done this chapter on page 82? Everybody open page 82. War is a bad taste business. Have you done this one? No. Okay, we have everybody open page number 82. War is a bad taste business. Yes, Aliza Adil, let's read.
Yes, sir. Non-fiction Martin Bell was a war reporter during the war in Bosnia in Europe 1992 till 1995. The same war is the background to Glenn Clark's poem The Field Mouse in Book 7, Unit 2. Bell is a much respected reporter and broadcaster who has worked on assignments in 80 countries, including 11 wars. All of those of all those wars, he has been mostly deeply affected by his experiences of civil war in Bosnia, which involved rival groups of Muslims, Croats, and Serbs. In this text, Martin Bell explained his feeling about filming and reporting on war for television. Sarajevo is the capital of Bosnia. Santisi, the Bosnian town.
So here they are setting up the story. See, because again the writer is a non-Muslim. So he is underlined here. He says that the civil war in Bosnia. Okay, Bosnia is part of the old Russia. Bosnia Herzegovina. That is the complete name, Bosnia. Bosnia was a Muslim dominated area, but they like to live with the Hindus and the Kafirs. So they have written rival groups of Muslims, Croats, and Serbs. Again, this is the bias of the British education. Again, this is the bias of the British education. They have written Muslims. Muslims is the religion. Croats, this is a race. Serbs, this is a race. And both of these are Christians. Understand? Muslims is a religion. They follow Islam. Then they have written Croats and Serbs. The Croats and the Serbs are the race of people. You know, if they say, for example, there's a civil war going on in Pakistan, and the Muslims and the Punjabis and the Sindhis fought, which will be incorrect. Muslim is a religion, Islam. Sindhis are the people who live in Sindh. There can be Muslims also there, Hindus also there. Punjabis are people who live in the Punjab. So nothing to do with Islam. Right now there is nothing. It is so they are creating one religion against two. So the reality is Muslims and the Christians. The fight was between Muslims and the Christians. And they are so much alike. They are so much alike. I met Bosnian people. I was in USA when this happened. The Bosnian people, they are so much alike with the Croats. They are even the same race. They are so look alike also. They were doing everything bad that is possible as a Muslim. They were doing everything bad as a Muslim that shouldn't be doing. The religion was not there because it was all under Russian occupation. Then from the Russia, then Czechoslovakia, and then Czechoslovakia, then this came out these countries. Now, Czechoslovakia is also a country in Russia. Then from वोन तो छोड़ो ये तो एक बहुत बड़ी गमज़दा कहानी है. These were people what I am telling you that you are want to please the non-believers, the Christian and the Jews. They will never be pleased with you. They will never be pleased with you. Why? Because here there were people who were looking alike. Looking alike means same race. There was not even a difference in their shapes and colors, in walking style or talking style. They were all speaking the same language. Only there was one group of people who said, and they were not even practicing Muslims. They were not even practicing Muslims. They were only saying that we are Muslims. This was their only crime. Their only crime was that they were saying that we are Muslims, and they did not even know what Islam was. They were not praying, they were not fasting, they were not performing Hajj. They were just saying that we are Muslim. Bas. And this is why the Croats and the Serbs, they killed them by thousands. They used to make mass graves, big graves, and then put them all there and cover it up with a bulldozer. They will dig a hole, big hole, and line up thousands of Muslims and then kill them and then put them in the grave and cover it up. Yes, these are Christians. So because the story is written by a non-Muslim, he is going to favor non-Muslim thing, but still he is saying this, that war is a bad taste business. All right, Hajra, let's read. War is a bad taste business.
War is a bad taste business. It was January 1994 at the height of the fighting between Muslims and Kurds, and we had access to the most extraordinary images of frontline combat that I have ever seen. To be honest, we did very little of this ourselves. It was done for us by Krasimir, a gentle soul and professional musician who carried a camera on our behalf. So he would accept no payment. His motive was that he wanted the world to know what was happening to his people. The result was a series of images of raw power and great impact. Winter warfare in a landscape of barbed wire and trenches and bunkers, and advancing infantrymen hit and killed in the snow under the eye of the camera, and street fighting in the ruins of St. Steve. His pictures were what is known in the trade as bang bang, so close to the action, indeed part of the action, that no news editor would think of dropping them from his program. In their raw form, the Russians they showed the cost as well as the courage that this kind of combat exacts.
Now let's go over the difficult words. Again, they said Muslims and the Croats. They should say Muslims and the Christians. But they are just calling it Croats. Okay? अभी तो बहुत आगे है. इन्फेंट्री में लिखा हुआ है. उन्होंने की अंग्रेजी का सत्यानाश कर दिया तो उन्होंने नाक कटा दिए इस स्कूल के बच्चों. First is the word access. ACCSS. It means that you have the permission. Combat. Next word, combat. Meaning two people fighting. Here two armies are fighting. The actual fighting going on. Combat. Fighting. Krasimir is a name. Underline Krasimir. This is a name of a person. You can find it. It's a name of a person. Then motive. Motive means The reason for doing something. Motive. The reason for doing something. Barbed wire. Barbed wire. Meaning wire with spikes on it. Wire with spikes on it. Wire with spikes on it. Trenches and bunkers. Trenches and bunkers. Trenches. Trenches meaning long holes in the ground, where long holes in the ground. Trenches, long holes in the ground. Bunkers meaning underground rooms where the army will sit and plan. Bunkers, underground rooms where the army will, commander will sit and plan, do the planning. Infantrymen, people walking on foot. Infantrymen, people walking on foot. Now they are using some specialist vocabulary, okay? Like bang, bang, and so forth. So let's go to page number 85. Okay, let's go to page number 85. And we have the specialist filming vocabulary here, Aisha. Let's read.
Sir, images are
Specialist filming vocabulary.
images, pictures, photographs. Professional photographers generally take or shoot images for the media. Whilst amateur photographers take pictures, photos, or photographs for their family albums. Bang bang. The name given by war photographers for images taken in the center of the conflict. The rushes are the raw, unedited images shot during the conflict.
Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. So images are taken pictures by the professional photographers and they are taking pictures. Bang, bang. Meaning they are taking a picture while there's a fighting going on. So the person, the photographer is still there, sitting there, and then the bomb comes and it falls. So that is called a bang bang picture, right from there. Then they have the word the rushes, are the raw unedited images during the conflict. Raw and unedited meaning that, they were not cut. What does it mean? That a person right in front of you was blown up and they took a picture. A person right in front of you was blown up by a bomb and they took a picture. So now, normally they do not show body parts all over the place. But in a raw image, in the rushes, they will show you the body parts also spread out all over in the area. So this is called the rushes. So bang bang meaning pictures taken during the conflict in the fighting going on. Then rushes meaning unedited, meaning they were not fixed, because sometimes you blurry the picture. Too many dead bodies sitting here there lying on the ground, so they blurry the picture so that you just get an idea that there are bodies sitting there, but should not be able to recognize them. But what happens in this is that they are just, you can even recognize. It was a, suppose if somebody's father was there or brother was there and they got killed, they can look at the picture and recognize them. Kisa, let's read the good taste guideline.
Okay, sir. The Good Taste Guidelines. Martin Bell was working for the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, which operates a policy of good taste guidelines. This means that the BBC will not broadcast reports or images which are thought to offend the viewer's sensitivities or good taste. In war reporting, it is through thought that images which show the reality of war atrocities, for
Atrocity.
example, will
Atrocity.
atrocities, for example, will atrocities, for example, will upset or offend viewers and they are edited out and not broadcast. Such images fall of contravene or go against the good taste guidelines. The phrase good taste does not have anything to do with food, but describes someone's opinion, style, or behavior. Example: Ella has excellent taste. Her house is beautifully decorated. The film was shocking. It was in very bad taste. The manager was forced to resign because he made a comment about his workforce which was in very poor taste.
All right, thank you, Kisa. See here in this situation, all the broadcasting companies, they have this good taste guideline that you should provide the news to the people, but it should not be horrific, खतरनाक नहीं होनी चाहिए news. Because when you are watching it, there might be children also sitting there, small children. So they will not be happy to see somebody's head rolling here, there, or a hand going, hanging on a tree, or a body part somewhere else. So this is all something, these are called atrocities, where unnecessarily people are torturing other people. So these are called all atrocities. Okay, you have something in your mouth. So this is called a good taste guideline, BBC. Right now, BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation. So British Broadcasting Corporation right now, there is a, I have forwarded it. They are running a small clip against Pakistan and the educational system of Pakistan. They have hired 4 or 5 Hindu girls and boys, and they are saying wrong things about the Pakistan and the religion of Islam. प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है कि ये जो बेवकूफ लोग हैं, दे डोंट नो व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. तो ये बैंड करना है तो सबसे पहले तो ब्रिटिश ब्रॉडकास्टिंग उर्दू सर्विस को बैंड कर देना चाहिए. Why you have to listen to your masters who took your money, looted your country? You are using them. Why you are using them? Make your own broadcasting company. Give good quality news. When you're going to give good quality news, you're going to be famous and you will have knowledge also. The first time, send reporters to every country where your reporter समझ में पता है ना किसे कहते हैं, who collects news. So your reporter should be all over the world. He should be collecting the news and he should bring the news to you. This way you will have the correct news. You are listening to the British or the Voice of America. Are they going to give you the correct news? Do they care whether Pakistan continues or destroyed? See, the Britishers or the Americans, they are all non-Muslims. They don't care whether you live or perish. They don't like you. They hate you. They hate your religion. They took all your wealth. Why they took all your wealth? They took your wealth because you were sleeping. Like right now, the whole class is sleeping. So this is why we have to learn. Now I want you to read the chapter on your own also. Inshallah, on Monday we are going to discuss more. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam.